Do you really want to develop your self-esteem and create a better relationship with yourself? Well, today I'm going to talk about the power of inner child work that I've used as a man to really develop that, to therefore build that better relationship with myself and create better results in my life. And if you stay until the very end, I have an extra point for you then as well. I came across this concept of inner child work back in 2020 when I was doing a lot of my personal growth. It's sort of earlier on in my journey, and I came across a workshop from a great guy called Alan that I know and I'm still in contact with now and then. And he taught me about this concept of inner child. And what this is, as I touched on in the previous episode, imagine like a 3, 4, 5 year old version of you inside yourself, right? And maybe you're neglecting them, you're not paying attention. This is how you're treating yourself, by the way. Then how would that child feel? Probably not very heard. But if you're loving yourself, you're giving yourself care, you're treating yourself, you're having fun, how'd that child feel? Probably pretty good. And therefore, that impacts your relationship with yourself and mental health that I found, right? So I used to really hurt myself. And there was one point in my very early 20s where I actually harmed myself physically. And not for an intense or long time, but it was quite a dark place when I was at university, and I didn't feel very connected. And I felt really bad about myself, and I started to hurt myself. And then I thought about when I came across this work and really thought about it. I started to think, wow, how would I was doing that to my own inner child? I felt really sad, and it really changed how I viewed myself and started speaking to myself. Now, I went through a couple of really hard years in the last couple of years, and I found this really, really essential in terms of building a relationship with myself. When I feel just like sad or upset for no reason, I usually come back to the inner child within me, and I'm like, how am I feeling? What's going on? What do I need right now? And when I've been able to do that, it's created a better relationship with myself, and therefore I feel better about my life. Now, sometimes that child might just be sad and needs to be upset and needs to express something, and I allow myself to do that. Ask yourself this: if you're neglecting yourself, imagine like you were neglecting your own child. And how does that feel? Even if, like me, you don't have children, imagine how that would feel. So, I want to talk about how I practically do this exercise with you. So the first thing is find time to connect to your inner child every single day. Find just a time in the morning or evening or whenever in the day is best for you. But prioritize it, because this is your relationship with yourself you're talking about, and therefore it's going to impact on all areas. Schedule that in. Listen to some music that makes you emotional. You can range it up as you do this more and more. I quite like YouTube. I like non-songs, but like YouTube emotional music, binaural beats, those kind of things. So I can really feel into connecting with the inner child. And then the next one, write a letter to yourself. Write a letter to your inner child, or maybe just want to create a voice note to yourself or a video to your inner child. Creating that relationship with yourself can be really, really powerful and develop your relationship with yourself like no other. The extra point I really want to share with you, that I want to leave to the end as well, is get and cut out a picture of yourself as a child if you can possibly. This has been really effective for me. I'll put it on my wardrobe door, and then look at it every single day and tell yourself that you love you. Tell yourself that you love you, and you're talking to your inner child, and you're not going to abandon yourself again, because nothing builds a relationship than trust. So telling yourself you love you and being with yourself every single day is a really effective practice. If you fall off, apologize to yourself, but give yourself a hug, but make sure you're giving yourself that time every single day, because when I've done that, I've started to understand more of my needs, and therefore I'm able to meet more of them, and therefore that's helped my mental health and my growth journey as a man. Now, I know it may seem a little bit like, well, I don't want to be doing that as a man. Well, what would you rather have, right? I'm not saying you got to scream that you're doing this to everyone, right? What would you rather have? Like this kind of like this ego going like, "Oh, I refuse to be doing like any sort of like child or this like this work," and then having a real poor relationship with yourself. Now I'm sure you're not in this category because you're actually listening to this and doing something about it. And then having that really poor relationship with yourself and like anger for like frustration and not, if you're honest with yourself, not having a good life because you're not listening to your giving yourself, or you're in a child any work? Or would you like to be doing something that may seem a little bit silly at first, but it's going to build a strong relationship with yourself, so therefore you can be the best leader you can be as a man, and therefore lead others? The choice is completely yours. So that's what I got for you today. I appreciate you for being here. You're improving other people's lives by being the best man and working on yourself that you can. And remember to lead with your heart, not with fear.